that pipeline again. And then after exporting, what we are doing, we are unpacking the solution, right? So same process, but now here we have to think about the from where we are going to get that file. To unpack the solution, we should have some input, right? So just recall in the previous step, we have that output file location. So the same location will be work as an input file location, same command, right? Staging directory, solution name, unmanaged, right? Now in the target folder, I am using the same unmanaged folder name. Now this is the actual name. This one, target folder to unpack solution. This is my actual folder name. So the command will be source directory / variable name / unmanaged. So in the repo, you can see that project name is there, then solution name / unmanaged, and under that folder, all the components are available, right? So we are using that and unpacking all the components under that folder. And after that, in which branch you want to export it. So we don't have any command, Power Platform command, we have to write the script. So I have used this PowerShell's task. So to add that, you can just click on this plus. This PowerShell, right? You can use this PowerShell. So that will help you to create this script. So what we are trying to use this PowerShell script, we are trying to check out the branch, whatever the branch we are using, right? So make sure that you grab the correct name, or better to create the variable for your branch name and use that variable here. And after that, we have to unpack the solution, or sorry, commit the unpacked solution. We are committing that. So again, we have to use the PowerShell script and we have to write this code. Git commit and whatever the solution name, right? So these are the 5 steps we have to follow when moving our solution from dev environment to Azure repo. Now what I am doing, I am deleting this folder from here. So I have nothing in my dev environment, right? I do have my app, but that is in my dev Power Platform environment. Now what I'll do, I will run this pipeline and see I am able to get the Power App which I have created in my dev as is with all the components. So before that, let's do one change in the Power App. So I am opening this solution. Edit. So these are the steps, like if you are editing something, then after editing, you have to make sure that you save it, publish it from here, and from the solution, you have to click on publish all customizations. So I am just updating this text. Right, and I'm just saving this and publish. So I'm publishing the latest version and go back. Now here you can see this publish all customizations, right? Click on that. So it will publish all the changes. If co-authoring is enabled in your Canvas app, then all the changes will come together and make it available for users. So once we are done, now I want to push this to my Azure repo, right? So in Azure repo, we don't have anything, right, for now. So after publishing this, I will run this pipeline. So all the commands which we have identified in the pipeline, it will take some time because it's a command line, right? So every command have different set of time to execute or complete the process. Ideally, it complete in 2 to 3 minutes. So in between that, if you have any questions, just be ready with that. So we will have to wait till that process completes. So now I am running that pipeline. So we already created that. Now we just have to run it, right? So I'm just clicking on the run pipeline, and here you have to find like from where I need to get that code. So I just select the branch. If you have only one branch, then that will come as a default. But if you have multiple branch, then you have to define. And then, sorry? Yes. Everything can be automated, but to understand the process, it's better to go with the manual step, but this can be automated. So I'm just running it, and the agent job, where we have 5 tasks, right? So all the tasks will be listed here. It will come here, and if we are good, then we will have all green tick. If we are having any error, then we have the red color, and we have to identify why this error is coming, right? So here you can see it says the timings, and it execute all the steps. So first is it is checking out Power Platform installer. Then I have deleted that who am I, because it also takes some time to execute that. And this one is Power Platform export solution. So all the commands we have mentioned there, it will execute one by one. Any questions? And if you observe this, it will also give you more information like what is the dev URL we have used from the Dynamics, D365, how it come to that process to authenticate, authorize it. So you can read from here, and the process is started like how many percentage completed. Any questions? Sorry? DevOps, Azure DevOps, basic license. It's not paid one. Yeah, not paid. I have not come across that as of now.
I think up to 5 users.
For user only, not for the execution. No, that comes under the first time like parallel execution, something like that. So you have to 18,000, I think. Yeah, 18,000 something. But that I think they recently launched this, because when I was using this, it was not there. You have to ask Microsoft, okay, I want to use this, and they will allow you to, and you will receive an email. After that, it will be activated. Otherwise, you will not be able to run the pipeline. So I think 18,000 is limit per month. So this is done. We are good. And I received the email as well, like your pipeline is completed successfully. So let's
Kirti,
check.
Azure DevOps also available with our developer tenant.
Yes.
And
Yes.
free.
It's a separate one. It is not coming with the developer tenant. That's a separate one. URL is different. dev.azure.com.
And that we can use up to 5 users.
Yes. 5 user, it is free. But if you want to go with 6, then you have to use the subscription. I am using my MSDN subscription here because I have other developers who are also working for this one. But after 5 users, you have to use that one. So you can see this one. So 3 minutes ago, so all these applications or this task are done. Now I am going to Azure repo here, right? So all the components should be available under the folder unmanaged. I am just refreshing it. Right, so we have that solution name, and under that we have unmanaged solution, and here these are the components, right? So all the artifacts which we have like added into that solution, those will be available as is. Now what we have to do, this solution, this code, I want to push it from here to my destination environment. So for this demo, this is my destination environment, QA. right? Where I do not have this solution. If I search, I have deleted that, right? So I don't have that solution in the QA environment. Now, once your pipeline is completed, successfully executed, now it is time to release it. So release can be into any environment. It could be a QA, UAT, production, right? So those are called as the stages. So for this demo, consider one environment as a destination environment. So from the same interface where you have created pipeline, we have that releases under this pipeline. So after executing the pipeline, we have to create the release. So I'm just clicking on the release. Now, here this interface will be different little bit, because for release we have to first identify from where I need to get this component or folder, right? So the first will be our source. So in this case, my source will be my Azure repo. So if I click on this first box, artifacts, so we have to select the project, then repository and branch. So I want to get all the components, everything available under this project for this repo and for this main branch. So after getting this source, we have to define the task or create an agent. Again, I have created one variable, same configuration, same name, use this command. Now we have to do the reverse job, right? In the previous one, what was the first command? After tool installer, OEM deleted, after that export, right? So before exporting, our last command was unpack, right? Now what we have to do, we have to pack this whole folder structure. So this is the folder structure. In environment, we cannot see this kind of folder structure, tree structure with the component in destination environment. So what we have to do, we have to pack this one, right? This whole component we have to pack. So that's why we are using this pack solution command. And here, from where we are going to use this, get this. So our source, for now I have used underscore GPPB2023, but that can be a kind of also variable. You can configure that in variable. And then solution name /unmanaged. So I am trying to get GPPB as a source, my repository, and under that I have unmanaged folder, and I want to grab everything and pack it. And then our staging directory, the temporary location will be same, build staging directory and same solution name. And here, what type of solution I want to use as a import. Export is done. Now I want to import it. So managed or unmanaged. So here we have that option under the drop down. So for now, I am just considering we may have some changes expected in QA environment. So I am allowing developers to make those minor changes. But if in case it is for production, then it should be managed. So you can use that drop down value from manage and unmanaged. But sometimes you want to create two separate solutions, one manage and one unmanaged. So in that case, you have option to select both, right? But in that case, I would prefer to create both the solution, but with different set of commands rather than using both from the drop down. To create manage or unmanaged, you have to follow the same command again. Right? You have to write two commands because the path will be different, folder structure or name will be different. So after that, packing the solution, we have to import it. Now, where we are going to import it? In the environment. Now what needs to be done to connect with my environment? Service connection, right? So we have to select the service connection. Now which service connection we use here? QA1, because we are going to target that environment. So from here, service connection, we have to use this QA1, right? Because we are moving from repo to QA. So we have established new connection or service connection with that user, which will help us to connect from Azure repo to Power Platform. Now it's a reverse. And after that, we have to publish the customization. Here we do not have to write that commit code, right? Because that code is already there, committed. We have packed that code, import the solution. Now, after importing, we have to publish all the customizations, right? So that is for that publish customization. And again, we have to use the same service connection, right? So far all good. Now let's create release, right? So I'm just clicking on this create release. Now here, so it will ask you for the stages. So this drop down, I'm not going to mention anything, but if you have different stages, then all the options will be available. Before that, we have to create those stages in this pipeline. Different stages where I want to move from DevOps to, Azure repo to different environment. So in our case, QA is the only one stage for now. So default is selected, pipeline is selected, and in the drop down, I am not going to select anything. Now observe this one, artifacts. If you have different or more than one branches, then you may have more values in this drop down. Let me see how many I can see in the drop down. I have only one value, I think. Yes, only one value. So this number you can see BDB64, that's a version number. Now we will identify or validate this version number with our Azure repo. So in Azure repo, you can see this number, the latest commit. It will get the latest commit. It will not get the previous one, right? So you can just validate. You are getting the exact number which is available under this whatever the last commit has been done. So, and if you want to add any release description, you can add it and just click on create. Now our release is created, so I'm just clicking on that, and staging is only one for us, QA environment. So in this box, I'm just clicking on this. Now it's the same interface. It will execute 4 tasks. First, it will install this tool, Power Platform tool, and second, pack the solution, third, import, and fourth, publish all customizations. Right? So it will take like couple of minutes to execute it, and once it is done, we will be able to search this GPPB here. The solution will be here in QA environment.
So in that case, there will be any changes when we are exporting the solution?
No, if you are going to for co-authoring, then configuration is different. It will open GitHub or something where you have to add those users, right? So that's a different thing. But yeah, some configuration requires when we are trying to move as a solution from one environment to another environment. But co-authoring is a kind of different configuration part which is not coming under this. When you are creating that now in Canvas app, that's enabled. You just have to configure it.
Kirti, I have another question here. So, like we have used some connectors in the source environment, let's say. Okay. Now we have created the build pipeline. We have integrated all our component on the Azure DevOps, and then we are releasing to another environment. So can we somehow automate the connection also? I mean, like
yes, possible.
We can that.
So in that case, for the connection name, you can use the environment variable in source environment, right? We have that environment variable option. You can create the connections, just give it a name over there, or ID, whatever the ID we have. And once it is available in any of the environment, you should not directly go to the solution and update the environment. But in that environment, you have option called default solution. So under the default solution, you will have all the environments of whole tenant. So from there, you have to update it. What happens if the solution is managed and you want to change the variables? You don't have any option. You cannot change it. So in that case, go to the default solution. So I will show you that. Under the solutions, this one, default solution, right? If you go here, then all the environment variables are available for whole tenant. So this one, environment variables. From here you can change it. So wherever it is applicable in your system, in any application, in any app, it will reflect. But you do not have to change from the solution. Understand my point? Because the issue might happen when the solution is available as managed solution. So this is done. Now the solution is available. 1 minute ago, you can see the process is completed. Now we are in QA and let's see the release. So all done steps, and let's see all the artifacts are available. If I run this app, will it work or not? App is available in solution is there in QA. Now I have not any connection for now. It's a simple app, one form and one label, that's it. Will it work or not? No. Just forget about this automated process. Think about when you are moving your app from one environment to another environment. Do we need to share with someone? Right? Because we don't know who are the users when we are moving from one environment to another environment. So here there are chances, if I am clicking on play, it gives me an error. Right? If you are getting an error, then you have to add that user or share this app with the users. So this is what we have. I have updated that in the app. But sometimes we are getting the error. I am using the same credentials for all the environments, so that's why I am not getting that error. But in your case, it may be a different scenario. So if you are using different credentials, it may happen the app is not shared with the logged in user. So in that case, as an admin, you have to share that app with all the related users. Right? So this way, we can do this.
So when we import in another environment, so basically like we have not defined any credential, right? User credential. So to whom this application will be shared by default?
Admin.
Admin.
Admin only.
Okay.
Admin of the environment.
Okay.
Because we have not identified or have a list of users with whom we are going to share. Right? So first it will be available with admin, and admin will share with whatever the concerned team is there.
Thank you.
Any questions?
If we have already application in one environment like QA environment, and already we have, and again we are deploying the things related that app. So that time we are getting any error log?
No, we'll do that right away.
Like I am asking about dependencies.
Dependencies in the sense like it will not be dependent, it will be changed with the version number only. So let's do one thing. I'm just editing the app in my source. In QA, app is already there. Right? Now I'm updating few things in my dev, and pushing from Azure repo to QA environment. So it will not give me any error like app is already exist. It will update the version number. Right? What happens in the simple scenario when you are doing export import as a manual process? So it will create the version number. When you are clicking on export solution, it will increment 1.0.0 point something number. So that version number will be added. So if I do the changes here and just adding one button, right, this button, and just saving it, publish it, go back, publish all customizations. So I have done the changes. Now I want to push this code to Azure repo. So again I have to run the pipeline. So yeah, one more point, like you can make this whole automated process. Like if someone is committing the code available in Azure repo, now you want that approval process. Before moving to any environment, someone has to review it and approve it. And after that, that code will be available in different environment. So in that case, we can add that approval option. There are options available if we need any approval process. And that person will have a email notification from where they will be able to check like, okay, this is fine. Like the issue happens with the product. When product release happen, then someone has to approve it before it moves to the QA or UAT or production environment. So I'm just running this pipeline, and now see this under the Azure repo. You can just observe the name or ID in repo. Now, as of now, we have BDB645. That's ID, the latest commit, right? Now I'm committing this code. Again, it will take like couple of minutes. Any questions meanwhile? What about? Okay. Connection references. So it will come as is. Yeah. Yeah. So that will not work. And I am not following that practice. Assume that, make a practice that never use your named account. Named account as abc.abc.com, like that. But use service account always. What happens if someone is leaving the organization? Then this account is still associated with that user, and the component is deployed into production environment, and authentication is failing. What happens? Password expired. So in that case, we have to make sure we are using the proper connection references or service connection rather than using the named connection. Like in on-premises, what you are doing, if you want to connect with SQL Server when you are using with our SharePoint web part or anything, then SQL Server always come with the service connection. It will not have name connection where we have to deal with n number of tables in one database. So always prefer to go with the service connection, and that service connection will be common for all the environments. So there will not be any chance to like getting an error while opening that environment app from different environment, because we already have that connection available, the account like credentials. So make a practice that even we should also approach customer that, okay, we need this much of service connections. There is a cost for them to create separate connections, but it will help them in a longer way, right? Sometimes what happened, I think first Sanket had that issue, the Power Automate connection. So they have deployed some solution at customer 10, and then the password expires. So we have to change it. It will ask you re-authenticate. Something is wrong. Re-authenticate option will be there, and once you click on that link, it will check whether you are logged in, then it will try to get the single sign-on, otherwise it will come up with the login screen, right? So in that case, it's very difficult to justify why this is happening. Customer is not asking us for or letting us know we will provide you separate connection, but we have to justify, okay, this will happen again if you are using the same process. If you are using the named account, it will happen after 6 months or 1 year. So better to use that service account. So now the solution is available in Azure repo, and now I'm just now the number is let's just check the number, refresh this. Now number is 53183, latest commit, right? Now I am running the release. Now check the number here, 531, right? And I am creating this. Go back. Now meanwhile also observe this. And here you can see the version number. Initially it was 1.0.0.0, right? Now if everything goes fine, then we will not have any error, but version number will be changed. So any questions? So we are almost done. We are just exercising this question comes in. So let's check that in between if you have any questions. Now this time depends on how many artifacts your solution have, right? If we have more artifacts, then it will take longer time than it is taking as of now. Okay, so we are done. Any questions? So how many of you are using this pipeline, right? CI/CD, and so what major difference you can envision like in CI/CD pipeline and this Azure DevOps one, the simple one, build pipeline?
It's more managed in the sense, right? Like I had not done that the earlier process, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I won't able to tell much difference.